At my school, kindergarten students are following the Readers and Writers Workshop model. In this writing unit, oral storytelling, there are several teaching points that I felt could be modified with technology. Some of them are: writers draw pictures that are representational or match their story. Writers pay close attention as to how their pictures tell their story. Writers approximate writing words to tell their story by touching their pictures and orally rehearsing the story. Writers produce their story in their mind and rehearse it by telling a partner and putting it on paper. In doing so, we touch upon ISTE-NET Student Standard 2, Communication and Collaboration. Students use digital media and environments to communicate and work collaboratively. Students interact, collaborate, and publish with peers, employing a variety of digital environments and media. The tools we used were an iPad and storytelling apps. I introduced the story spine, which is an improvisational technique developed by Ken Adams. The story spine goes like this: once upon a time, every day, but one day, because of that, because of that, because of that, until finally, and ever since then. Using this structure highlights an important point to my kindergartners: the parts of a well-constructed story, a beginning to establish a character or routine, an event to break the routine, the middle that shows the consequences, and the climax and resolution. We use oral storytelling to help students warm up or generate their ideas to begin writing. They also practice listening to a partner. First, I chose a few willing volunteers and orally went through the story spine with those students. They were delighted by the results and found our stories quite amusing. Then I chose pairs of students to improv a story in front of the class. The students already have literacy partners for other areas of reading and writing workshop, so I kept them in their existing partnerships to try out the story spine with one another. The next day, I reminded them of the many story apps we use on our iPads. These include Puppet Pals, Sock Puppets, and Toontastic. I also reminded them of the story spine we had learned and that we would be recording our stories and adding visuals. I think I did meet my goals because the students became very comfortable with imagining a story and details unrehearsed. Some students filled in each line of the story spine with a word or a phrase. With practice, some began to fill in each line with several sentences and additional details.
Once upon a time, there's a princess locked in a tower. Every day, the bird flew up and looked at the princess so she didn't go. But one day, the bird said, "What is the problem to the witch?" Because of that, the witch said, "I don't need to check on her, you do." Because of that, the bird always had to flew up there. Because of that, until finally a fairy came and said, "I will give you your wish you want." And ever since then, the bird never, ever, ever checked on her again. Once upon a time, there was a cowboy. He was riding the horse, and then he jumped off. He was so hungry. Every day he's hungry, but one day a mouse came. Because of that, he was going to eat it. Because of that, the mouse ran away and the guy chased him, chased. And then the horse was chasing the guy. Because of that, the horse was chasing the guy. And then the horse was tired. The cowboy was tired. But the mouse was still running. until finally he catch a mouse. He put it in his mouth. And ever since then, he was not hungry anymore.
I don't think that this activity reaches the level of redefinition. It is not something that would have been impossible without the technology, but I would place it somewhere between augmentation and modification. In an older grade, it would definitely be at the augmentation stage, but at the kindergarten level, the enhancement holds slightly more significance. This is because most of my class are not fluent writers yet. The writing and spelling process can hinder their thinking and creativity with an activity like this one. Being able to record their immediate thoughts helps them to move along the story spine. If they were forced to write the whole story down, it would lose momentum. During the Coetail course, I've become more active on Twitter than I had been before, and whenever I get to Coetail blogs, I always read something thought-provoking. I have also become an Apple Distinguished Educator this year, opening up even more channels of professional learning and networking. However, I often cannot keep up with the volume of excellent information coming in. As a kindergarten teacher, I don't have much prep time during the school day, so any reading of learning networks is done on my own time. However, having established these networks will prepare me well in my next role. Next school year, I move to another school as an elementary educational tech facilitator. I look forward to finding new ideas for transformation across several grade levels and supporting classroom teachers with what I have learned.